Did you know that homeowners have pet peeves with their house cleaners? I know, I hate it, but it's true. There's a house cleaner that called into the show and she asked this question.
Hi, Angela. I just finished watching your customer survey for house cleaners YouTube video, and I just have a question about that. Is asking a customer what their pet peeves are a good idea, or is that like opening a can of worms?
All right, should you ask the homeowner about their pet peeves? And the answer is you need to find out, but I would not ask them directly. Because yes, you will open a can of worms, but I do want to have the conversation. Now I want to flip the conversation and I want to ask them, if you had a perfect house cleaner and everything was going smoothly, what would that look like for you? Here's the reason I want to flip it. When I focus them on saying something positive, they will still tell me exactly what I need to know. But I'm training them that we talk positive, not negative. If I get them in the habit from day one of talking smack about previous house cleaners, when I leave, they're going to talk smack about me too, right? We want to train them and set them in the frame of mind that we talk and say positive, nice things about their previous house cleaner and about the house cleaner that they're going to hire right now, which is me, right? So we want to get them in the habit of saying positive things. So what does a perfect house cleaner look like to you? Now, they might say something like, the house cleaner would show up on time. Wait a second, that's actually a pet peeve. When the house cleaner doesn't show up on time, that's the pet peeve. So when they say, I would like my house cleaner to show up on time, what they're saying is when I get up at 8 o'clock in the morning and you've given me a range from 8 to 8:30, and I've taken my shower and I ate my breakfast and I hurried everyone out of the house, when you don't show up, that's an inconvenience to me. But what they're saying is, hey, when you show up on time, that's a good thing. And then you make a note of that. Yeah, that's a good thing. Let me make a note because I want to show up on time. What else? And I love to keep asking, what else? Well, I love it when my house cleaner's prepared and they show up with all their cleaning supplies. What they're saying is, it's a pet peeve of mine when you haven't done your inventory and you're scrambling through your car hoping that you have enough supplies to clean my house. I paid a premium fee for you to come clean my house. And when you show up and you don't have enough of the right supplies, then it makes me sad because you have to go through my cupboards and you're looking for some of my cleaning supplies that you can use in addition to the ones that you don't have. Or you got to leave the job and go buy new ones during the time you're supposed to be cleaning my house. So that is a huge pet peeve. But what they're saying is when you show up prepared, you've done your inventory, you have everything nicely put together, that's cool. That's really great, right? So they will give you a series of things that they like, but what they're saying, and we call it subtext, what they didn't say was, and you can piece it together on the things that are the pet peeves. They might say something like, I love it when you're efficient and you're effective and you do the job right the first time, okay? What they are not saying, and this is the pet peeve, when you are really slow and you kind of mill around the house and then you skip stuff and you miss stuff and I have to call you back and you've got to come back and re-clean because you didn't do it right the first time. That's what they're saying. That's the pet peeve, okay? I don't want them to focus on that, but what I want them to focus on is what would it look like if my house cleaner was efficient? If they started in one area and they worked their way around the room, they had the right supplies, they were efficient, they didn't miss anything, and then before they left the room, they inspected their own work, they had a flashlight, they double-checked everything, they made sure that everything was A-okay, they gave it a thumbs up, and then they went to the next room. They would walk in and they would say, wow, this looks amazing, right? I must have the best house cleaner in the world. And so if you're training your customer from the beginning to focus on what it looks like to have the best house cleaner in the world, you can aim for that, right? We're not aiming to not do the things that they don't want us to do. We are aiming to be the best house cleaner in the world, which means we won't do the things they don't want us to do, right? We want them to focus on this. Because if this is what they, and they're telling you this, if this is what they tell you they are looking for, and you're able to produce this, what happens is they're going to go out and tell all their friends. Oh my goodness, you're not going to believe the house cleaner that I had. They came to my house, they were tidy, they brought their supplies. I watched them from the time they got out of their car. There's no fooling around in the car. There was no mixing chemicals in the back of the car. There was no like rummaging through stuff. They got out, their little caddies were neat and tidy. They came marching up to my door. They were wearing uniforms. They put on their personal protective equipment, their gloves and their shoes. They went right to work. They did an amazing job. They inspected their work when they were done. When they left, they did a quick inventory of everything so they didn't leave any supplies behind. Oh my goodness, they arrived on time. They left on time. Wow, it was amazing. It was the best experience I ever had, right? Now you got the exact information that you needed but you asked it a little bit differently. You reframed the way the customer was looking for the job to be. You reframed the outcome, and then you reframed and you trained them on what to look for, so now they could go tell all their friends to send you new business. So I love the question. Do we need to find out about the customer's pet peeves? Yes, we do, but we need to do it in a way that inspires them to look for the best in the work that we do. All right, I hope that helps. If it does, give us a thumbs up. If you got questions or comments, those go in the links below. If you have a question, go to askahousecleaner.com, click on the blue button, send me your question, and we will help you get it answered. Until then, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.